was not a prolific builder and died real young. He was only 42 years old, but he made figures from 1968 or so to 1972. And there are four of Jack's figures, and one of them belonged to Mark Wade. You can see it in the picture.
Crammed in a small spot.
Very unusual. This is another figure that was owned by Bob Isaacson that he actually did the carving, Mr. Crab.
And Mr. Crab.
That's Mr. Crab.
You and I have a lot of history with some of these.
There's a lot of history with that. Mr. Crab was originally Bob's, and then it went to Bob Abdu, and then went from Bob Abdu to Dan.
Oh, you do.
That figure was carved by Lou DuPont. Lou DuPont was a Blue Room ventriloquist. Very, very raw material. He was on the HBO special. If you look it up, you can watch it. Due to the cleanliness of my website, when we posted pictures of that, I did put a link to Lou DuPont doing the routine, but I said, you know, if you got kids, make sure you.
I recall that. I checked it.
Original. But look at how different they are.
And who is this again?
This is Ken Spencer. Yeah. Okay. And he did some, and his mechanics are Rube Goldberg. They are really not the greatest mechanics. I think he did a great job when he carved his figures, but his mechanics were really left a lot to be desired. I mean, he did weighted eyes. They were little pins sticking out with nuts hanging on them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean,
whatever worked.
Whatever worked. Yeah.
Wasn't he the vent that had a barrel?
He did use a barrel. Yes, he did. He did a vent act with, I think, 6 figures all at one time. Yeah. And he also worked, believe it or not, at the Frank Marshall shop for a 6-month period. That was it. And he decided
Ken Spencer, any material on Ken Spencer, like a picture of him with the barrels?
It's on the website.
On the website.
If you go on the website, look up Ken Spencer, you'll see it's all there.
Okay.
Yep. I have a whole story about Ken Spencer. I also have another Spencer over here. Is a walking Spencer, the fellow in the electric blue suit. That's a walking Spencer. And if you go on the website, I did do a write-up and a video of that. And again, a contraption to try and make this thing work, to make people spend money. Still, the only way you can make it work is you got to swing it side to side. Oh, yeah. That's how a walking figure works.
Yeah.
You swing it, the leg goes. You push it, you swing it again. And that's how they walk.
Yeah.
This thing has got this contraption. It's unbelievable.
Dan, when you say that Ken Spencer worked with Frank at his shop for a period of 6 months,
Yeah.
would Frank more or less have people helping him out building his dummies?
Only in the early days.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the very early days, then he got rid of. He didn't have people working for him.
Yeah.
It was just the very early days. Alex Cameron, Alex was partners with Frank in the shop, and then Alex took the ornamental woodworks, and Frank went on to do the dummies. But that's one that Alex made, and Ken as well worked there, but very, very short period of time. Used by Foy Brown.
Okay.
And Foy repainted them.
I see.
So they look like Foy's figures, but they were Velopedi.
Okay.
Okay. And then these back here, these are Johnny Maine's figures. That's Gutters and Snuffy and Beulah the Bag Lady, and this is Coco the Cuckoo Chimp. Yeah. Johnny used to be always out in the lobby with Coco, at the Van Haven.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm sure you do. I wish I had met him. I didn't get to meet him, but I have his collection.
Yeah.
And you have video by me.
And I have video by Bob as well. That's
I should go visit Johnny.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I like to point out is Alfred Lemaire over in England made fabulous ventriloquist figures, and I was able to purchase these two, which when I got them, they were still the head. It's just the heads. They were wrapped in newspaper that was dated 1928. They were made probably around 1900, but I don't think they were really used because they're just in such perfect condition. And the hat is actually part of the head. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And you can always tell a Lemaire if you see these levers, see these brass levers. That's Alfred Lemaire. And there's the old man over there with the top hat. That's a Lemaire. And that guy sitting right there with no name tag. That's a Lemaire. Okay. And then for English figures that are rare, the Walt Bartleys. Those are exceedingly hard to find. I'm very fortunate that I have two of them, and Walt Bartley worked in the 1960s to early 70s, and I'll pull it up so you can see, he actually changed it to do the leather mouth. So he's really cute.
Yeah,
that's something?
That's beautiful.
Isn't that great? I sent pictures to Steve-O to see if he could identify, because I know it's German, but he couldn't identify. But I mean, there's no question that Len did this. It's too good for anybody else. No one else would have been able to make a mouth that works so beautifully. These are interesting. These are made by Louis Granat, 1890 to 1910. And Brooklyn, New York, they too had leather mouth. And this guy with the sailor suit, that was originally owned by John Shibley, the traveling ventriloquist. You've seen his book, Memoirs of a Traveling Ventriloquist?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was his very first figure. Wow. And I have all of his journals as well, which, hold on one second, and I'll show you the journals.
Yeah. Which one was with the sailor hat?
Right there. Yeah, he actually wrote down what he ate in his journal.
Really?
Oh my!
I read that.
Yeah.
When John Shibley was traveling to do his shows, he kept a log, a date book, and these date from 1921 to 1935.
Wow.
Everywhere he went, he wrote it down, where he stayed, what city it was, how much he paid for his train fare, what he paid for his food, the whole night. Everywhere he went, he marked it all down. So it's 10 years worth of, 15 years worth of his travels.
Of his life.
Of his life. And when he wrote his book, Memoirs of the Traveling, this was how he did it.
Oh, sure.
Because of this. And that was his original figure. He did end up using Mac figures, but that was his original figure.